Like kitty, like daddy, just fat and jiggly. Look at this belly. Look at this fat belly. Ooh. Hey, what's up you guys, it's Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today we are back with another installment of the Weekly Nightwave. Except for the fact that we don't actually have a Nightwave this week. However, what we do have is Operation Hostile Mergers, which brings us the Glaxion Vandal as well as the Spectra Vandal. So let's go ahead and take a look. Currently, the only way to obtain these two new Vandals is by participating in the operation. You'll need to complete the first 3 prerequisite nodes, then move into the Endurance mode. At that point, if you score more than 1,000 points in one mission, you will unlock the Spectral Vandal. However, if you can score 4,000 or more, you'll actually unlock both the Spectra Vandal and the Glaxion Vandal as well. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and kick things off with the 1,000 point reward from the operation, the Spectra Vandal. But before we jump into combat, let's take a look at it on paper. A special order corpus cutting tool for master crafters only. Features distinctive azurite plating and a focusing crystal of precision, clarity, and cut. Now, when they say precision, they mean it because as you can see, this has a 100 point accuracy. It's got a boost to its critical chance from 14% up to 20, so that's a net positive 6%. Sadly, they didn't touch its critical multiplier whatsoever, which would have made me a bit happier. Its magazine also went up from 60 to 80. Its reload speed has dropped down from 1.8 down to 1.2, and its status also got a 6% boost going up to 28%. Now, the cool thing about this weapon, as you can see, is it has a very focused IPS. In fact, it's only just S and P, salt and pepper, also known as slash and puncture. It's got a little bit of a boost to its base damage, but this does work quite well with the fact that it's got a fairly decent status chance. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of mechanics because I didn't get to mention this in the comparison, but the Spectra Vandal does have a bit of a boosted range as compared to the standard Spectra. As you can see here, we are sitting at 24 meters and there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing whatsoever, but if we move up a couple meters, up to 22 meters, we'll actually be able to hit the target. So the original variation was only 18 meters. This one's gotten a little bit more of a boost by 4 meters. There is also like a Spectra Vandal specific mod from the Perrin sequence that boosts its range up by another 20 meters. However, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna waste a mod slot on that. I don't know if anybody really thinks that it's that important. I personally will just rather get into the actual area. Now, when we're talking about the way that this weapon performs, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like it was just a couple percentage off. Like, had it been maybe 3 or 4 more percent in one in the positive direction, that it would have been crazy powerful. However, right now it sits at like it's fine, you know, it's not necessarily the ultimate weapon out there. It's not gonna make you go, oh, that's so good, but it's also not like completely and utterly terrible. Anything on the star chart, it should do quite well against. But, you know, anything a little bit more difficult, you're probably not going to want to go ahead and bring this weapon into that fight. But anybody who is going into more difficult content knows a bit better. Now, as for the build, we are running a pretty standard crit status hybrid. We've got our 2 prime critical mods as well as hydraulic crosshairs, and then we've got our status elemental mods right here. Now, one of the things that I did want to go ahead and point out is that I am currently using a viral setup. However, I did go ahead and test this out with corrosive as well, and if I'm going to be completely honest with you, they did perform fairly the same. Like, there really wasn't that much of a difference between the two, but I did want to go ahead and use viral because it highlights the fact that we don't have any impact on this, and it is kind of like slash leaning when it comes to its IPS or just its PS. In addition to that, as you can see, we are running hydraulic crosshairs where I would normally use Auger Pact. Now, as I was kind of running around with this when I was doing average ammo consumption, I did notice that Auger Pact and hydraulic crosshairs pretty much perform the exact same. However, I did notice that hydraulic crosshairs, when it got like the better roll of the dice, would perform just a little bit better. So on average, they're about the same. Hydraulic crosshairs, if you do get lucky, you get a little bit more of a bump. Now, before we go ahead and move on, one of the things that I did want to show off to you guys, because I know that there are a lot of people out there who are going to be curious about Magnum Force. Let's go ahead and find that real quick because I don't want to type it in. I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys how this affected the weapon, because there are some people out there that saying it doesn't affect it that much, but as you can see, it's kind of a little sloppy. I feel like it's a little bit more all over the place, and of course the further out you get, the more that it kind of jumps around. So if you're looking for those precision headshots, I wouldn't necessarily go for it, but listen, as I said, it's your build, do whatever the hell you want with it. Moving along, we have the Operations 4000 point unlock, the Glaxion Vandal, a cutting-edge halogen-cooled electron accelerator capable of snap freezing a target in moments, which is a complete lie because it doesn't actually do that in gameplay whatsoever. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump into the comparisons. As you can see, the original only had an 8% critical chance, but this has jumped up to 14%. In addition to that, its magazine has increased up to 100 from only 80, and then its reload speed has dropped down to 1.8 from 2.2. Its status has also received a little bit of a bump by 4% up to 38, and as you can see, its base damage has also jumped up just a teeny tiny bit. The other thing that I did want to go ahead and mention is the fact that this actually has a 3-meter freezing cloud where it does area of effect damage upon contact with an enemy, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Okay, so we're going to kick things off with a little bit of mechanics. Now, one of the upgrades that I did not mention as compared to the original Glaxion is that this one also got a boost in its base range. Now, the original Glaxion was sitting at 24 meters. However, the Glaxion Vandal has a couple extra benefits that I kind of need to mention. So, as many of you guys know, this actually has a little bit of an AoE at the end of its beam. So, as you can see right here at 31 meters when I shoot it, we've got nothing at all. But when we sit at 30 meters, we're actually hitting the target. So, my conclusion of this is because of the fact that the area of effect at the end of the beam has a 3-meter radius, I'm going to say that this only has a base of 27 meters, and then at the very end you get that extra 3 meters that blooms outwards. So, as you can see right here, let's just go ahead and start shooting at a normal range that you would shoot it at, and we get that little 3-meter burst from the original one. And as you can see right here, it jumps to either side of that, so that's exactly how it performs. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you, I was not excited for this weapon at all. I was like, a Glaxion Vandal, do I really care about that? But now seeing it in action, I do have to admit it's kind of fucking cool, and I kind of really like it. Now, it's not necessarily the best weapon out there, however, I am kind of falling for some more of the interesting weapons, and this one I do quite like. So as you can see, there are some interesting mechanics to it, and it's really, really great at stripping off enemy armor or spreading some status effects, which, as you guys know, as of late, has been kind of like one of the big topics. Ooh, look at that, look at that thing go! Once you get some of those headshots in, let's go ahead and take a look at it, how it works with moving targets. And again, I feel like a lot of the things that we're seeing kind of play really, really well with Wisp. No, we want them to be alive. We want them to be moving so that we can go ahead and freeze them, which we can't really do. Oh, I just butchered that completely, didn't I? But as you can see right here, as you're getting these headshots, you are dealing some pretty chunky damage and also stripping off the armor as well. And because of the fact that you do have that 3-meter radius that you're doing it on, you're able to kind of like whittle down the enemy's armor as they are getting closer and closer. So definitely something nice to have, especially for all of these condition overload melee builds. Again, it kind of fits into the whole like DE wanting you to be able to go back and forth between melee and ranged weapons, you know, when you kind of go ahead and do the swap over. So it's very, very nice for that. But again, false advertising, because legitimately I did not see a single instance of instant freeze in there. Hi, Editing Rob here. So apparently the freezing effect that they're talking about occurs on the death of the enemy. Why the hell do I care if an enemy is frozen when they die? I want them to be frozen as a CC. What kind of bullshit is this? Like, I get that it's good for, like, loot shit, you know, where it splits the body into multiple parts, but, I'm sorry, I don't really care, because, I don't know, it's just not a thing that matters to me. Let me know if it matters to you down in the comments below. Now, as for the build, I went fairly basic on this one, but I did play with a couple other variants that did not work out so well, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, because I got really excited. As you can see, I did toss Point Strike and Vital Sense in here. The critical chance of 35% on a fire rate of 12% isn't actually that bad, and you guys saw a lot of crits going off over there, so part of me was like, alright, let's go ahead and do another hybrid build on this one, except this time we are going to lean heavily into the status chance. So as you can see, we did do 3 status elemental mods. We brought it up to 100% status chance, and we went ahead and went in with vigilante armaments, which also, you know, enhanced the crits a little bit as well. Now, one of the other variants that I played around with, and I really wanted it to work, was to go ahead and do a little bit of a kind of like hybrid build using Hunter's Munitions and Viral. It didn't work. I wanted it to work really, really badly, and I wanted to kind of bring something new and different, but legitimately, sometimes you gotta stick with the classics. Now, the one last thing that I did want to point out is how well this works with freaking Wisp and her goddamn, like, Breach Surge. I know I've shown this off in the last few videos, but legitimately, I really feel like they really wanted Wisp to work, so they created a whole bunch of weapons that would just synergize with her so well. I mean, this is literally just Wisp magic here. Not only are you getting all of the area of effect stuff, you're getting all of the cool Breach Surge stuff as well. So me personally, I have to put a win at least into the creativity of this weapon and the last few weapons. Not the Spectra Vandal though. The Spectra Vandal is still boring as all shits. But legitimately, I think that they did an absolutely amazing job with these last few things to make this Warframe at least specifically come to life. Regardless, let me know how you guys feel about the Glaxion Vandal and the Spectra Vandal. Do we have any hardcore Spectra Vandal stands out there? Are you cheering for this one and gonna be down in the comments saying, no, Rob, you don't understand, it's the best ever? Leave all of your feelings down in the comments below. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I hope you guys have a great time. Enjoy the event while it lasts. I think at this point you only have 7 more days to knock it out. Then after that, who knows where the hell these are gonna go? Maybe it's gonna go in the disruption tables? I don't know. Regardless, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.